Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we are going to be going over a 2022 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road with the long bed. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the large mailer Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with this Tacoma. Check out their inventory in the description down below. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 278 horsepower and then 265 pound-feet of torque. So let's go over the front end of this Tacoma. So first off, I love the metallic gray, definitely a nice color. Shows the body lines pretty well. And then notice how it's also here on the front end. And then you guys can see here, we've got the LED lights here, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. I think it makes the Tacoma look a lot more modern, a little bit more aggressive too. And then you can see the fog lights down below. And notice all of the elements are pretty much body colored. And then you do have the gray here, so it kind of all matches. Toyota logo there in the center that also doubles as a sensor. And then you guys can see kind of like the high ground clearance front end. And we also got some skid plate action happening underneath. And well, there you go. There's the front end. Coming around the side here, we've got two 65mm tires wrapped around 16-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And again, since this has the TRD Off-Road package, it does give you the all-terrain tires. And you guys can see a quick look at the tread pattern on that. Got the mud flaps on top of that, and then you guys can see we have the Bilstein shocks right there in blue that are also part of the package. And then you guys can see we've got the oversized fender flares, which look great. Got the Tacoma logo. I almost said Toyota logo. That was a close one. Caught myself though. You can see the mirror right there, and then notice the trim kind of around the windows. Door handles are body painted, and then we've got the TRD Off-Road badge there in the back. And here is your full side view with the truck. I totally stepped into like a pile of ice. Anyways, last thing is, here is the shock there in the rear, also part of the package. And then you guys can see the leaf springs. So here's our key fob for the Tacoma. We got the Toyota logo there on the back. We have our unlock and our lock there with the horn, and we'll just make sure the Tacoma is unlocked. Now going from that, we've got a payload capacity of 940 pounds here inside of le bed. Well, I mean, it's the whole truck, but you guys understand what I'm saying. You can load up the bed with 940 pounds. Obviously, you got to include passengers, all that fun stuff. But you guys can see you've got the protection here from the factory, so that means you don't have to worry about scraping paint or anything, which is definitely a huge plus. You got the lights here in the back. We have a full outlet as well. And this bed is actually very large. Like size-wise, I mean, this thing is pretty big, pretty large. So you could fit quite a bit into it. So that's definitely a huge plus. And then lifting up the tailgate, pretty easy. Now here's kind of like your 3/4 angle view, so you guys can kind of see just how big that bed is. Now popping here to the rear, you guys can see the taillights that come with the Tacoma. That hasn't changed in quite some time. Got our V6 badge, parking sensors here on the rear with the receiver hitch there at the bottom. And then you guys can see the exhaust tip down here with another mud flap. And yeah, I mean, again, overall, I think it's still a pretty good looking truck. I definitely do prefer the proportions of the short bed to the long bed. So you guys can see there is, well, that's the shorter cab. But you guys can see the shorter bed versus this longer bed, kind of the overall look of it. But again, that's just a personal preference. And then here's another look. Short bed, long bed. Also, this is a taco. That's a taquito. That's how it works. Short bed's taquito. This is a taco. Also thought I'd mention that. Now here's the door panel in the rear. You guys can see you've got padding here. You're going to rest your arm. You got the window control. And then here are the seats in the back. You guys can see the stitching here and then design all down the center portion of the seat. Definitely cool. And we do have the rubber floor mats. Now I will pop in. Got to jump up, shake off the shoes, and kind of squeeze back here because the front seat's back pretty far. There you go. There's the leg room with that. And you guys can see the headroom as well. So, you know, a little bit on the cramp side, but you guys can see if you have that seat a little bit more forward, you got a little bit more leg room. And then here's a quick look at the cup holders. And yeah, also, look at that rear window. We'll go over that in a moment. But let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. You guys can see all of the padding all over, and then regular old door handle. Got all of our window controls. Notice they're automatic for the front too. Got a door lock and unlock with the mirror controls, and this does have blind spot monitoring. And then here are the seats at, well, the seat at the front rather. You can see again the stitching and then the design down the center here. Got your adjustments there on the side of the seat. And then you can see the pedal layout down below, again, rubber floor mats. You've got that for like the cargo light, turn on the outlet, and then you got your stability control, and then we have the circular vent. Steering wheel is manually adjustable, and there's one more look before we pop in. So here is our steering wheel with the Tacoma. You guys can see the soft touch leather here at the top and at the bottom, and then perforated leather here on the side, so you get a little bit of a better grip. We have our turn signal light stock, and then you guys can see the windshield wiper stock. Now coming back to the steering wheel area, got the controls here for the center stack pages button, and then you guys can see you've got all this for the cruise control, and then back there behind it does have an adaptive cruise control, which is definitely nice. Voice command controls, all that fun stuff, volume controls, and yeah, there's the steering wheel. Now you guys can see the center gauge cluster here for the Tacoma. You've got the RPMs on the one side, and on the other side you've got the speed. And then you can scroll through these menus to see different bits of information here on the truck. Pretty standard stuff, as you guys can see. And then here's like vehicle information. I like the time until rest. I've always thought that is interesting. But that's all for that portion. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. We got a backup camera with trajectory lines. Now they don't turn with the steering wheel. It's just fixed from a line perspective. Now aside from that, as for the rest of the infotainment system, response time with the screen is actually really good. So you guys can see pressing stuff. It happens pretty much instantly with most of the stuff. Some of the stuff takes a little bit longer to load up basically, and then this also does come with factory navigation, as you guys can see. Takes a second, and then the screen's like, okay, I understand what's happening. But I like that part of it, and then I also like there's analog buttons on either side because that helps out quite a bit, and also you got vents on either side too. We've got our hazard light button here. We've got our controls here for the heated seats. Dual zone climate here with this package as well. I like how there's a little truck there for the recirculate button. And then we've got our drive line select. So you have your 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel high, and then your 4-wheel low that are just next to the stop start button. And then you guys can see here for the rear defroster. We've got this for the blind spot monitoring. This is the ECT power, so if you want a little bit of extra power, press that button, and it'll help out especially with towing and then certain off-road situations. Parking sensors. And then this is for the power sliding rear window, which I think is a huge plus. A lot of mid-sized trucks don't have a power sliding rear window, so it's cool that the Tacoma does. And then you guys can see charging port, and then this does have a wireless phone charger down below. That's what that whole setup is for. And then we've got a 12 volt underneath. It was like stuck in there pretty tight. Couple cup holders right here. Shifter for that 6-speed automatic. It does have a manual shift function. And then you got some more storage space here with the parking brake off to the side, and then the center console area. More USBs inside, definitely nice. And then you can see the padding here on the dash, and then got the whole glove box. It's actually pretty big for a mid-sized truck. Not bad. Now here is the mirror here for the Tacoma, so you guys can see that whole setup. And then we do have a sunroof in the truck as well, so living the life of luxury. We have the locker here for the rear, also part of the TRD Off-Road package. You got the crawl control, kind of like the off-road cruise control with these selections right here that you can go between. So for example, you can press this and it'll say, well, shift into 4-wheel low for that to do it. It tells you what to do. And then same thing for the crawl control. You can see it says what to do when you press the button right there. So I think it's pretty cool that you've got both of those different functions, and especially the locker. The locker is really important for off-roading. And then also those are the controls for the sunroof. So here's our window sticker for this Tacoma. Again, you guys can see 4x4 double cab long bed. And then here's the standard equipment that comes with this truck. Full tank of gas. And then here's the optional equipment, so you guys can see the base MSRP there. Before options like the LED lights, I definitely think that's worth it, right? $485 to get LED lights. I would get that every single time. So yeah, I definitely think that that's worth it. But you guys can see the TRD Off-Road, well, the premium off-road package, pretty pricey with that, but worth it if you can do off-roading and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, total MSRP $45,076. And wait for it. There we go. There's the Tacoma TRD Off-Road with the long bed. And also, I'm super excited to finally be able to see a Tacoma that is in the green that this 4Runner is in. That's a TRD Off-Road, or sorry, TRD Pro. I almost said TRD Off-Road. Good gravy. Do I even review cars? But yeah, I've seen so many 4Runners with that new green, and I still have yet to see it on the Tacoma. I need someone to order in a TRD Pro that has the green on it so I can see it, please. Now that's going to sum things up for our video on this 2022 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road with the long bed. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larch Miller Toyota here in Murray for giving me some time with the truck. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see all of you in that next video.